Oh, 5 wounds. Well,
6.
But
7.
you also took all the extra frag for the for our good man Scipio. So you're also going to take 1d10 extra damage. Are you
give
ready?
it to- I am.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna get crits here.
One.
Lucky.
So subtract one more wound from your wound track.
That feeling when you look into the future and see you're about to get a paper cut and someone tries to save you and gets hit by the truck.
Why would you do this? It's Yu Yu Hakusho
just
all over
trying.
again. You're gonna be a ghost detective now. Is that what you wanted?
I mean, only if one of us gets to be Kuwabara.
Cool
By the way,
ball.
I call Kuwabara.
He's
Yeah, I
the
thought
best
you would.
character. Yeah. Easily out of all the characters in Yu Yu Hakusho, Kuwabara is the OG. What? It should have just been called the Kuwabara Show.
Oh yeah,
I
definitely.
insist he's the main character.
Oh,
But- Yeah, go on.
during this chaos, I think is going to be a great time to try to steal those notes.
Awesome. Everyone is ducking for cover inside of the like the barracks areas, and while that is going, you can definitely hear over the loudspeaker a familiar voice going, "Attention! Attention! All forces not on duty, report to the nearest bunker facility. Second salvo incoming." And it just sort of repeats. But yes, I will allow you to run out there during this. Meanwhile, Alexander, you see a hatch open up, and you see it's just still incredibly bored-looking Wilfred just going, "The commander would wish to extend an invitation for you to ride out the rest of this bombardment within the confines of the Aegis of Adaman. Would you be so kind as to accept?"
I reach out a super quick layer of holy oils, put it over where the thing got hit a second ago, and then I'll jump into the tank.
Wipe your feet.
You
Yeah.
step inside, they got like a tea table set up and everything.
I mean,
No, it's actually
I'm
as
almost,
you look
almost
at this,
half offended that you think I didn't wipe my feet. Like my feet were wiped the moment I had already wiped the unguents across the side of the tank, and I'm walking down in salute.
Yeah, Alexander just takes his feet off and goes.
Crawls up the side of the tank
Yeah.
to preserve it.
I
Yeah,
leave,
but
I
one
leave my
thing-
outside feet outside, and I put my inside feet on as I leave it.
The Velvum bottom indoor feet.
I have
As
the
you get
image of
inside-
clapping your feet together like chalk erasers.
Yeah, just. But as you step inside, the one thing you notice is, despite the sheer size of this super battle tank, it is incredibly cramped inside.
It feels like home.
To the point where you realize why everyone in here is like super skinny and tiny. You're pretty sure they're chosen for that reason. And as you look over, you see the face of the commander look down and go, "Oh, good. Happy to have you aboard. Feel free to stand literally only there. That's the only space possible. We should be able to ride this out without too much difficulty." And you hear as he, "One moment," and he goes, briefly goes into his mic, and he starts giving out orders as a trajectory. As you just see, like, the turrets the tracks start to shift as they begin opening up another salvo towards the oncoming missiles.
I will release some holy incense and begin a series of prayer.
Wilfred goes, "Additionally, the commander would like to inquire as to whether it would be possible to do something about the lighting in here. Preferably something in the form of a chandelier."
What size chandelier?
Considering the size of this area, not a very large one.
Made of any particular material? Preference of color?
Whatever you think would best quell the unease of the machine spirit. The Aegis can
Brightness.
be
What's the
temperamental.
luminosity that you prefer?
Ooh, 12 lumens, adjustable, variable. Perhaps up to 70 lumens in the event we need to do some deep cleaning.
Dimmer switch front or back? Both?
If it could come in a radial dial.
Oh, okay, yes, of course. What was I thinking?
Meanwhile, let's see, Jort and Scipio. As you stand up, you notice that the walls have been completely blown out of like basically the little crosshatch wall that separates all of these different bunks has been completely removed at this point. As all these walls are more or less just completely exposed.
Oof.
You notice that the Inquisitor's area is particularly heavily damaged. It shouldn't be too hard for you to rebuild this stuff, but for the time being, you now have access to the rest of these areas. It looks like most of the officers aren't actually here. They're likely still drinking at the officers' lounge.
But the Inquisitor is over there.
Indeed.
Yeah, I
Roll me
guess
awareness
I'll
also.
crawl over to the Inquisitor. Alright, awareness.
I can't tell.
No. Let's try that again. Let's see here. So, as you're looking around, you don't see anything of particular interest. You guys are both focused on two things. The first is the first is the fact that there is a very heavily injured Inquisitor on the inside that's currently like staggering to his feet, looking quite the worse for wear. Actually, can you see the Inquisitor?
Yeah, I can see the Inquisitor
yeah,
up there.
Perfect. And he's
Chill.
staggering to his feet, and you can see that he's bleeding fairly heavily. He wasn't necessarily a frontline sort of individual, but he starts crawling not towards the door, but deeper in towards you folks.
I will go ahead and call to him and go, if you have a Medicaid kit, I have training.
He goes, Drawer! Second from the top.
Jort, go get it. Quickly.
What? Go get what? The Inquisitor or the med kit?
Both.
Oh, all right. And I'll push you down to the ground and run over and pick up the guy and then
So-
like put him on my shoulders and run over and throw him on top of you.
Now you just need to go get the med kit.
Yeah, then I'll just run back and go get the med kit. And
Alright,
then
you
throw
run
it on
back
top
and you
of the
notice that there's
Inquisitor.
there are indeed a number of drawers here. They're all locked.
Alright, I guess I'll have to start smacking him with my
Yeah, just
heavy
give me a
bolter.
strength test. You just to rip it open.
Alright.
That's what Jort was made for.
Or security if you'd like to pick it open.
Uh,
Security has a much
yeah.
lower roll.
I'm probably gonna fail security. Yeah. Yeah, my intelligence isn't that high. I'm just gonna smack it.
All right. Also, roll me one more awareness with a 20-point bonus.
Okay. Oh my god.
Yeah.
We're all
You-
blind.
All right. Now, do you remember where I said the med kit was in these drawers?
Something about the top drawer to the left, I think.
All right. You have a left and a right drawer. Bottom and top. Which one would you like to pull open?
This is Jordan. He might get it wrong.
I probably wouldn't know. He'll go bottom right.
Okie doke. You grab it, you pull it open. The strength test is way more than enough. You actually break the lock on both of the lower drawers, and as you pull it open, you notice that there is a small black box that's sitting in there. Sort of the tin. Would you like to take it?
Does it have a?
I'm sorry, say again?
The like red medical cross on it.
No. It's just
Nah.
it's just labeled. Well, it doesn't even really have a label. It's just a black sort of tin box.
Nah, I'm gonna assume that that's not the med kit and just close the
Okey-doke.
drawer.
All right. Eventually, as you start ripping things open, you see a very old book. You pull up another drawer, and you find the med kit.
And then I'll take it back over to him.
All right. As you get over there, you see the Inquisitor goes, drawer, bottom right, black box. Bring it to me.
Well, I'd say it's more of like a gunmetal gray, but all right, I get it.
All right. Meanwhile, let's see here. Scipio, roll your Medicaid.
All right. Does having the kit give me any bonus?
I believe it gives you a plus 20 bonus. He's got one of the badass kits.
Oh, sweet. Well, he might actually live with 0.5 success.
There you go. You managed to stabilize the Inquisitor. Meanwhile, you're in the other side. That's where we're gonna pause that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Bigby, you lean outside and you see that everyone is now scrambling to get inside of the barracks areas. Even York is running off with his guitar. And while this is going on, you do have your clear shot, especially because the Sister of Battle has taken shelter inside. You have your shot to go investigate. Are you going to do it?
Of course.
All right. So as you run out there,
Huge token.
oh yeah. At this point, you don't want me to roll a 3 as, let's see, Alexander, roll me 1d5. See how many of these missiles you shoot down.
Do them.
All right. So you shoot down 2 of the 3 incoming missiles. 5. All right. You see as a missile slams into the Departamento Munitorum area as the rest are shredded by anti-aircraft fire. But Bigsby, you do manage to get inside. By the way, if I would have rolled a 3, that would have been a direct hit on you, Bigby, and you have no shelter. So I was kind of hoping to roll 3, but I didn't.
I mean, due to the fact you ate a Super Mario mushroom, you are taking up an entire quadrant.
Yeah, really hard to miss.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, wow. Is drawing. There we go. All right. All right. You managed to make it there. You do notice that the door is locked. How would you like to enter?
I'll note there isn't much of a building.
Yeah, so didn't a rocket just destroy most of the building?
So it actually went through the roof, detonated in that back corner, and blew out the interior walls. So the exterior walls are still holding up, with the exception of this wall up here, most likely.
All right. If that door is locked, this one might not be.
Sure. Yeah, you could also attempt security, or you could try to shoot the lock open if you have a firearm.
Well, let's try this door before I discharge a firearm in the middle of camp.
Yep, it is locked.
All right, then go back here and shoot it.
All right. You take out, I imagine, your black powder pistol.
So
Ooh,
shall I roll
flip
to
lock.
hit?
No, I'm gonna say, yeah, just roll me a to hit, and like if you don't jam, you've succeeded, basically.
And this is going to be a called shot to the lock.
Yoke. All right. Roll dodge. You take out, you take out your black powder pistol. You point it at the lock. You pull the trigger, and as you squeeze the trigger, you realize that even though it's wood on the exterior, this appears to be a steel door. And as you fire your scatter shot, it hits the wall and ricochets back into you.
And I'm hit.
All right, roll damage.
It maxes out at 7, and you will soak literally all of it.
Wait, do you not have any? You only have an 11% chance to dodge. Does it make sense?
Are you trained in it or no?
No.
Well, either way, as a ratling, his agility should be unreasonably high.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out the minus 20
Mm-hmm.
to bring it down.
Yeah, you don't have it dodged. Your agility is only 31.
Agility is 31.
Huh.
Did you add the statistics modifiers from your class?
I think I did.
Oh, you rolled a couple 20s, right?
Alright, so they brought up a terrible score to something actually reasonable.
Yeah, but either way, you take 4 damage. It's soaked by your flak armor, fortunately.
Excellent.
But it seems as though you're not going to be able to shoot this door open.
Oh, it really feels like it's
You're
going to be a
have
good
find another way in.
mystery for the camp detective. Everybody
Oh,
was hiding from the bombardment, but somehow Private Bigby got shot.
Dun,
Big
dun,
after a
dun.
fort getting
Should be a
shot.
whole side story. Camp detective, only war.
Actually, there is one door I know that is open.
The door
It's
to
the
your
one
mind.
here.
Yeah, you peek your head in and you see a. By the way, I should point out that you weren't being stealthy about this at all. You literally just ran over there, took out your pistol, shot the door, got shot by the door, which is the first time I've ever seen that happen, and are now running through the other area. You could try to sneak past everybody if you want, or you can just walk on in.
Let's do some sneaks.
Yeah, this is technically a totally open door.
I do appreciate there was a non-zero chance that you could have been killed by the door.
Yep. Doors are deadly.
Whatever the explosive dice are called in this game, you could have non-zero
As-
chance.
As
Big
soon as
B coming
as-
through.
as soon as you round the corner, the Inquisitor goes, "Ah, Private Bigby, thank God."
Yes, the Emperor
Ah.
watches over all. Get back under cover, sir.
No, I need you to check the rest of these rooms and see if there's any survivors.
I'll need a key. The doors are locked. Don't ask me.
Fine. He hands you what appears to be a skeleton key, giving you a plus 30 to security checks.
With loot.
Also, most of the interior walls have been blown up, so you could just go through everything.
You can also pocket the key.
That is a hilarious observation. I need you to check the rooms. I need a key.
All right, so
I imagine he's
Right,
on his
I just
ass right
carried
now
the
getting like
Inquisitor-
alcohol poured over a wound, so.
all right, so let's start. These walls are collapsed enough. I don't need to really roll anything to go between these rooms.
No, not really. You're a
Alright.
rattling and you're tiny, so I'll say you were able to slip through the damage.
All right.
If you want, you could try to loot all of these rooms. It's up to you.
That might take too long. Don't know exactly how much time we have under this bombardment, so we'll just loot the captain's room.
All right, you roll into the captain's room. Roll me I guess just awareness as you look around. You notice that basically this entire room is in disarray, as whatever was on the desk previously was mostly caught up in the explosion. You do see some just completely shredded fragments of paper, but you also see a scorched little notebook that is literally wedged into a crack in the wall opposite of where the explosion hit. You go over there, you sort of wrench it out of the wall. What would you like to do?
Well, it's gonna
Also,
pocket it.
Jort, roll me awareness.
Boom.
Yeah, you find the box. You don't see Private Bigby doing anything as you get the black box and you start to head back.
All right, then let's do what I was told to do and check these other rooms. Stuff the notebook down the front of his trousers under his shirt.
All right, fair enough.
What are we gonna get?
All right, where
Two.
would you like to go now?
Well,
Got to be kidding me.
was in this room, so we'll just go to that one. If we have to go all the way around and through the door, then you said I get a plus what 30 to the security checks.
Yeah. Oh, to be fair though, this entire I should probably just draw. Now that you're in here, you realize that this entire back wall is like this entire section has ceased to be. It has just been wiped out by a rocket round.
Plus, you could have just unlocked it from your side.
Yeah.
All right, and who is that in there?
What's that?
That's the Inquisitor. He's been moved over here right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the map is kind of responding slowly for me, so I just zoomed in a bit.
Mhm.
So
No worries.
there's nobody in this room. Then he'll go around to this one. If he needs to unlock it, let me know.
Sure. Roll me awareness. All right.
Neat.
You notice a few things. The first is that there is what appears to be a sort of old school. It's not really a microbead, but almost like a Walkman. It's a portable Voxcaster, is what we'll call it. And you can see that there's actually some headphones that are attached to it. The second thing you see is that there is a cap hanging on a hook next to the door, which somehow miraculously wasn't blown off the hook by the explosion. And on that hat, you see wings and a skull. A very similar, the very same hat that you see frequently worn by your commissars.
Well, there's no way they're going to believe a Ratling's a commissar, so I'm going to leave those there and go into this room here.
Okie doke.
Make sure
Roll
everybody's.
awareness. Nice. This is clearly the priest's room. It is full of religious paraphernalia. You do see what appears to be a massive chainsword up against the wall, behind glass, with sacred scripts, sort of like wax seals, attached to it on either end. You also notice that there are a number of pages that have been blown around, as well as just a series of holy seals, the same seals that were supposed to be assigned by the Inquisitor to you. And as you're looking at it, the box that this has actually has the Inquisitorial seal on it as well.
But the box is open.
Yeah, somebody has opened it already, and when you go to look inside of it, you notice that these are sort of like, effectively, they're supposed to protect you from demonic influences and weaken the powers of the warp.
These are tempting to take.
Mm-hmm. Just roll me a straight intelligence check.
I was just going to roll willpower and take them.
All
But if you want to roll intelligence instead, I will.
right, do it.
You're lucky. So these would be useless without the proper rights, I would assume.
There's two things that you notice. The first is that there are two seals on the opposite side of the wall that is shared by Scipio. the one where all your Jort and the Inquisitor are staying. The ones on that wall, they seem burned, but they're not just burned like from a fire. They're almost like completely shriveled up, and they've turned light purple, like almost a bluish purple. The other thing you realize is, hold on a second, this is the Ecclesiarchy, but the box has the seal of the Inquisition on it. And we were supposed to get assigned sacred seals in order to secure anything that might be demonic. You're pretty sure you realize what happened to your box of sacred seals.
Yeah, they got stolen. So this is technically not stealing them to take them back.
Sure,
All right.
that is a way to look at it.
I do assume that Bigby has some sort of pouch, or he's probably not carrying his rucksack right now, but somewhere to put them.
You really don't. You have a dustpan and a broom still.
You know what? Put them in the dustpan and then cover them with the debris that's all around. Would that be a deceit roll?
Well, effectively, you're carrying something about the size of a like large toolbox. So you already have a notebook shoved down your pants, and you're just a little ratling with a flak vest and like a uniform.
I'll have to leave them here then.
I mean, you don't have to. If you want, you could try to stealth out. You do have the multi-tool. You could just go out through the door.
All right.
Back door.
All right. Let's see. I do have self-trained, but my agility is
31.
It's
Which
31.
I'm going to go back and look at to make sure that that's true. But I'll have to go through all of the chats to see your rolls.
I had my rules all stuck in one of my notes of the sheet, but then I deleted them like an idiot.
That happens to the best of you.
Yep.
So,
well, let's do
but
stealth.
at any rate, it's not a big deal for now. But effectively, that means you'd had to have a 21 roll for the agility for your rattling. Because I believe they get a 10 to their agility. So close.
Well, I'm assuming there's
I'm
a
going to
lot
say
of promotion going on, so it'd be harder to notice a short guy walking out of anywhere.
I'm going to agree with you. Nobody's looking for you guys. So I'm going to say that is, you only failed by 4 points. So I'm going to say that's enough of an advantage for you to pass. So you managed to sneak out the back door. Where would you like to go?
Well, I'm assuming Alexander is not down there.
No. He's elsewhere.
All right, and this area hasn't been hit by a shell.
Which area?
Where
No, you actually see smoke coming out of that area. Something definitely hit there and exploded.
Well, I don't want to get caught with that notebook, and this is still the perfect time to drop it off, so we'll do that. So yeah, he'll
All right.
waddle his little ass over to that way.
As you head down there, you see that the entire area is just filled with a bunch of scattered like shrapnel and slag metal from a detonated rocket, and you do see blood. But as you go look around, you hear two familiar voices, and they go, "What are you doing standing outside there for? You're gonna get blown the fuck up, guy! For Emperor's sake, get inside where it's safe." And they sort of wave you over to the Departamento Munitorum like building entrance.
He'll get in there.
He goes, you're an absolute mad lad. What are you doing wandering around out there?
Taking an
It's a
opportunity.
fucking rocket barrage. And you see the two little, the two ratlings are both taking time berating and congratulating you. Yeah, but you see the way he fucking ran over here? I didn't even hear him coming. Just popped out of nowhere. But they go, right, so do you have the stuff or not?
Aye. And
Right,
he'll
also,
hand it over.
he goes, he takes it and he goes, right, and what, right, oh, the old down the pants trick, classic. And he takes it, and he doesn't even bother. Like he takes your pants notebook. He takes, he's like, oh, that's not good. Right, so if I were you, I would recommend not being on the front line in the next few days. Alright? Bad news. Just
If it
saying.
were up to me, I would listen to you.
Well,
That's some good
accidents
advice.
happen. People get sick. It's a big army. You know how it is. And see the other one go. Right, so wait, that's totally the wrong one. What have you got there anyway? The fucking uh, toolbox with the inquisitorial seal. Look,
Yeah,
that's
can
a
you
lot
take
of
that
heat
seal
here.
off real quick for me?
That's a lot of heat. Of course we can hold on to it for you. It's what friends are for. And sort of looking
Thank
at
you.
each other and goes, right, fine. Fine, I'll take it. I'll put it in the back. If you need it, just ask for the K2 rations from 3 months ago. Easy to remember, right?
And out of character, I'm probably gonna forget that. So
That's fine. And you say, he goes, if anybody asks, it's fucking recaf. And he just slaps a sticker over top of the inquisitorial seal. So, with that being said, somebody roll me 1d5. Yeah. The next wave of rockets is completely absorbed. You guys bunker down, and you do hear a few extra explosions going off as some rockets strike the base, but nothing too impressive. And as that happens, everything sort of comes to a close, and they start sending out the sort of the damage control teams. And you notice that, like, sure, you were only struck a few times. Other parts of the base got hit a little bit harder, but of particular note is the people standing out in the parade grounds. A few of them got caught by some of the scattering shrapnel, but for the most part, everyone's okay. The Inquisitor had to be hospitalized. As he's looking over at you, he goes, "Ah, well, that's a relief." And he takes the box, he opens it up, and you see there's a bunch of dog tags, sort of IDs, just inside this box. And as he sort of goes through it, he goes, and he adds another one to the pile. Scipio, you notice that this one reads ray gun with all of the
Huh.
additional information
Wonder
attached.
who that is.
No one knows. Oh, do you say that out loud?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Just me being lib.
But shuts it, and that's about the time they hit him with the painkillers, and he goes nighty night.
Well, at least don't have to worry about that for a few minutes.
So the next day comes and goes. Those of you who are injured, we
think
do
that's just me.
have. We actually, the medical tent didn't actually take any damage. So we're gonna say over the next 3 days, you managed to get. You didn't take any critical wounds, right?
No.
We were this close. And I rolled a 1. So you are no longer damaged. Bring your wounds back to full. You're a little sore, but for the most part, it's fine. And several days later,
Okay, start repairing the tank.
yep, still out there repairing the tank. Bigby, you end up getting a letter from your friends. Effectively, it says that things aren't going well on the front lines. They are pulling the reserve forces out to help assist the Baneblade during tomorrow's push. Apparently, the rest of your company ended up getting cut off. Remember how you guys went on a mission with the Inquisitor instead of... By the way, this is all verbatim in the letter. Remember how when you were supposed to go on the road? No, but
that's what happens when you dictate.
yeah, exactly. But effectively, as you read the letter, you realize that when Sergeant Raygun sort of tried to skip out on getting executed for his crimes or standing trial for his crimes, uh, you guys missed the main push to take the captured trench lines from the orcs. So, while you've been fighting and doing the work of the Inquisition, they have been gradually getting surrounded and cut off by the orcish horde. So, in order to break this stalemate, a Baneblade has been brought up to help push through the resistance, make contact with the forward group once again, and basically secure another sort of defensive line further up. The bad news is, basically all of the additional staff are getting pulled into this special unit.
And that would include us.
It's it's effectively known as the Aegis Protection Detail, the APD.
We really do sometimes feel like season 3 or 4 of Blackadder.
What was that?
Oh, it's the final season of Blackadder where they're in the trenches, World War II. World War One,
nice.
sorry. Blackadder's
And-
constantly trying to get out of the war, and he can't. That's when it ends, with them going up over the lift.
Oh, jeez. And everyone lived happily ever after.
Oh no, it literally goes from them slow motion explosions around them, and it fades from a World War One trench, like ruined battlefield, to a just grassy meadow.
Oh, jeez. Well, blood makes the grass grow. In the case of the orcs, anyway. So, the next day, is there anything you guys want to do in the time before this next mission kicks off?
Try to retreat.
Alexander, you have done remarkable work on that heavy tank.
Have I
I'm
put
not gonna make
the chandelier in yet?
Yeah, roll me tech use to see if you can fit a tiny chandelier with a dimmer switch.
Well, my understanding is it's a remote dimmer switch, so
Ooh, nice. Better.
Clap on.
that's
Yeah.
only 5 successes.
You actually managed to make this chandelier collapsible. So, by you pulling a string, the dangly parts of the chandelier get pulled back into it, and when you wrap it up, it'll actually fold into the top, so it barely takes any space unless you need it there. And then when you want it there, you can just pop it, the whole thing falls down, and you can use your little dimmer switch to power it on and off.
Awesome. At some point, I also want to make sure that guy read my data slate when I handed it to him.
What was the data slate the one with all of your...
The requisition requests.
Gotcha. We'll see.
Well, that's why I had the concern. It's like, I handed it to him, he did something, and he handed it back. And then he made some sort of weird remark about mechadendrites. And it's like, did he read it?
Almost certainly not.
Oh, well. It would take a lot less time to get mechadendrites put on than it would arms or legs.
This is the truth, my friend. But, so is anybody doing anything, or?
I guess I'm probably practicing telekinetic tricks.
Alright. As you practice telekinetic tricks, basically, you get dragged along wherever the staff sergeant has to go.
Mm-hmm.
And you can hear him and a couple of the other NCOs walking up, and he goes, "Oh, damn. Private Jackson? Wait, hold on a second. So, he's missing his entire leg? God damn it. He was our best running back. Fuck. Yeah, no, Olsen's got no legs. I mean, no, he has them. He just can't run for shit. No, we are gonna get stomped by Charlie Company. God damn it. Why couldn't it have been York? Yeah, he cooks food good, but he can't play for shit. And while they're talking, eventually he goes, "Right. See ya." He knocks on the door. He goes, Skippy, you ready?
Ready as I can be, and I just like have a coin levitating in my hand, grab it, put it back in pocket.
Right, that's creepy as fuck.
Well, you
Jort,
ordered it, sir.
Jort, I understand that you threw yourself on top of Skippy here, thereby abandoning your post, and in so doing, saved our young, frail psyker person. I don't really know what adjective to use to describe you. I'm going to say our emaciated friend.
That's pretty accurate.
I am nothing if not a keen observer of the obvious. So, I've decided to overlook our previous issues and put you up for some commendations for so willingly risking your life in order to protect the life of a superior.
Don't
Congratulations.
we
You're a big
don't we
damn
got
hero.
one of those in the kitchen already?
Superior, not
Yeah,
supper.
but you're going to get your own, so good work.
Oh boy, I love ketchup.
Right. Admittedly, you wear both of them frequently enough upon your uniform to where no one would know the difference. So, eat up, meet up in formation. And he goes, we heading out at about, 1400.
I didn't think
All
he should have
right.
be finished loading his
Bright and
gun.
early.
Hey, don't be late. We have, and he sort of looks at his own sort of like notepad, which is just his hand that he's used a Calixis staining device to write things on. And as he's looking at it, he goes, apparently we are being assigned to the Motivation and Support Group, the MSG. Pretty sure they have that in the cafeteria there for you too, Jort.
Hell yeah, it's on the chicken.
So, you guys have time to do one last thing if you want to go try and procure things or anything else, and then we'll move on to the next stage of this wonderful event.
It's holding on hope for that last minute
Right.
surgery.
Yeah, that's probably going to be at least a brief scene of like Jort and Scipio is going to just kind of put his hand on the start reaching his hand out to put his hand on his shoulder, and then kind of like pull it back, thinking twice for a second, and just go, "Congratulations, Jort, and thank you again."
Yeah, I'm just doing my job.
You guys both look over to see Sergeant Jones, just like with one hand on his chainsword, the little like safety clasp, like right next to his thumb, ready to go. Meanwhile, you see a bunch of people. You don't find Private York behind the sort of food hall area. You see a different person, someone who was injured previously. Instead, you hear Sergeant York's, or you hear Private York's voice behind you, and as you turn, you see him in full battle kit. He goes, "Well, looks like I'm going with you guys today, huh? I've actually never been to the front lines, so yeah. I'm sure it'll be great.
God.
This is exactly what we trained for.
This will
So
be the saddest episode only over yet.
I'll slap him on the back and be like, "All right, good luck, brother."
right, you're on the Aegis protection detail too. You know, a lot of guardsmen don't ever get the opportunity to see a Baneblade, and we're gonna get to fight right alongside it, which is good because I'd much rather be behind that Baneblade than in front of it. Those guns they're terrifying, and there's so many of them. Anyway,
Well,
I made you a lunch, just like I mean, we had to bunker down anyway, so while I was bunkering down, I used our little our field kit stove, and I made you guys all some suppers if you get hungry out there on the trenches. And he leans forward. I wouldn't trust the new cook they have back there. He's one of the original Krieger, and nothing against their drive, but they do not seem to value what's the word I'm looking for? Flavor to any degree, or chicken that isn't a briquette, or look, I'm not saying that it's overcooked. I'm just saying I'm pretty sure they use the heavy flamer. But yeah, anyway, and I made one for all of you. I also made an extra one. Sorry, I forgot that Raygun is not with you anymore on account of him, violating the uplifting primer and being executed. So, anyway,
What?
there's an extra one
It's
in there
okay, I'll
for you.
take it.
Didn't
He would have
even
wanted
think
me
of
to have it.
All right. As you guys sit down and eat that meal, you guys all benefit from the same effect as last time. Basically, when you use a fate point, you can roll a d10, and if you roll a 10, you don't use it.
Sweet.
Try to get this guy promoted to sergeant. He didn't even make me a sandwich. I mean, I can't eat a sandwich, but still, you could have tried.
Yeah, as you're walking back to formation, he goes, "Oh, and he walks up and he's like, I don't know if I'm supposed to salute you or not, so I'm just gonna do that." And he salutes you, and he goes, so I heard that you got your stomach ripped out by an orc or something, so I got you this." And he basically hands you this little eyedropper, and he goes, "It's not food exactly, but it should lubricate your joints up pretty good, and well, if there is anything that can still digest food, this has literally all the nutrients a body needs. So, here."
This is my confused moment. I'm there.
Aren't you? Yeah, you had to show up for formation, no?
I don't know. Nobody ever get me. As far as I know, I'm still in the main blade.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, at some point, the commander, Wilfred, goes, "Thank you for the chandelier, sir. I believe we received a transmission from one Staff Sergeant Jones. He says that you are expected to be at the parade grounds at 1400.
Sir, yes, sir.
And with that, you are shooed out. And as you open it, he sort of takes his own little spray bottle of Sacred Unguents and just goes, and polishes it and shuts the door.
I do have a history of only moving when told to.
This is true. I should remember. This is my mistake. So as you guys all get out there, you also benefit from the cook talent because it's not that OP anyway.
Ah, yes, but as we've already stated, I will never use the fate point to save my life.
To save your life, but perhaps to murder someone else you might.
Well, of course. That's literally the opposite of what I just said.
Yeah.
So, you guys all mount up, and you notice that the Baneblade is getting ready, and it sort of leads out, and everyone is marching behind them. And you and the Commissar and a few of the other heavy gunners are marching separately as well as you head out to your next location.
Oh, of course. Salute the sigil of the Emperor on the way past. And of course, every commanding officer in front of me.
Well, the good news is where you're marching, you're not actually passing anyone. Basically, everyone's just going.
Right, but I had to have seen them. I know that they're ahead of me somewhere. It doesn't matter if they don't see
You're just out
me.
there. Yeah, you salute literally everything that moves.
You get a third Waldo arm just so it's perpetually saluting for you.
It's actually just on a
I
rotate.
salute everything that I know is higher ranked than me. I salute the sigils of the Emperor whenever I see them, and I salute anything I think I might be supposed to salute because I'm not sure, and it pays to err on the side of caution.
Very true, particularly in this game. Come on, when has anyone gotten killed for not following the rules?
I mean, literally, I did not see him
Or
get
not even
killed.
once.
I don't even know that anyone's told me that Raygun's dead. I immediately went off to work.
Technically, they didn't kill Raygun for doing something wrong. Raygun was like,
I mean, tomato, tomato.
I mean, we all know what Raygun did. And we all know what Laszlo was accomplice to.
This is probably the point, like during like the ride or the march. Eventually, like I'll probably ask, who's this ray gun guy you guys were talking about? And just get like the quick quip of like what you guys thought of him.
Sure. Let's go first with Jort, then Bigby, then Alexander to finish it off.
Yeah.
I don't really remember him, but I got this bone from Sergeant Laszlo, and I just show him the bone.
Absolutely disgusting and wonderful.
I've carved Laszlo's name into the bone.
That's disrespectful. You gotta make it into a flute first.
What about you,
that's a
Bigby?
mistake.
That way you can summon the Green Ranger.
Out of character, I don't think that Big B ever met Raygun.
Well, you
We
did
were
that.
on the same mission together.
Yeah,
mean,
he was literally the.
Pointedly, though, you did meet him at least once in the most fatalistic way.
Yeah,
Yeah, driving the tank over him.
yeah,
He was a
and
brave
then
man.
putting a armor-piercing round through his skull.
Yep,
So what does Biggie actually say?
he was a brave man, and he looked after his men.
Hmm. And then what about Alexander?
I'm sorry, is Skippy here clearly a psyker?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
clearly.
I say nothing.
Okay.
We're both pariahs in our own respects. I don't need to lower myself by speaking to the psyker.
Pariah solidarity.
No, opposite of that.
I'll make myself less. The normies will respect me if I make fun of the people and treat like crap the people they treat like crap. That way we can have something in common finally.
Look, I'm more machine than man, right? The flesh is weak. I've got no understanding of these emotions anymore. I tried to get on their good side by beating up Jort in a fisticuffs fight.
I don't understand. Why does me hurting you not make them love me?
I don't understand why this isn't
What?
working. I've observed that
God.
people are uncomfortable around the psyker. Don't get close to the psyker.
Shoot the psyker.
I think, as I mentioned out of character before, it's going to be so sad. Alexander's going to totally hate me once I start using one of my powers.
Oh yeah, it's by the way, that's potentially that could be very, very devastating.
I mean, if you start
Oh, yeah.
breaking technology of value, I don't think anyone's going to blame me when I shoot you.
I'm honestly looking over to our sergeant and just going, you know exactly the worst way this could go down. I am definitely going to not do it until you give me an order.
Oh, did they rearm us, by the way?
Oh yeah, you have all of your weaponry and ammo supply back.
All right, looks good.
All right, so as you guys finally march your way out, you can hear the sound of like distant gunfire, artillery fire, and it gradually gets louder and louder until it's actually drowning out the sound of the Baneblade's treads as it rolls down the road. And as they get there, you can see the front lines that have been dug in. And my dog is almost certainly going to destroy this laptop once again. We're just going to move this big fluffy monster over there. There
We
we
could use
go.
a big fluffy monster on our side.
You may get that opportunity.
No, that would be the Wicked Ones campaign.
There.
That's right. I'm gonna need a tertiary character there, aren't I?
Almost certainly.
You mean tertiary character?
Yeah.
As you guys,
Coverage
as you get out to the new line that has been drawn,
Mhm.
The Baneblade pulls to a stop, and they go, right, MSG, move up, fall into the trenches, and you see the Commissar Hartley. He goes, yeah, so you'll be under my direct authority for the time being. I'm sure I don't have to explain how this works. I give an order, you follow it. Thank you, Alexander. Pleasure to see you again. As you salute. He salutes back. He goes, so, our mission is simple. We'll be occupying the heavy weapons in support of the main push. So, and he looks over. Private Jota, I understand that you are of a particular capacity in this regard, so I will be standing right beside you to direct your fire. Yeah, do you have something to say?
No, I was just saying okay.
Fantastic. Staff Sergeant Jones, I leave the rest up to you. For the most part, this should be a relatively straightforward assignment. We have collected a number of PDF in our reserve forces. They're not the most stellar of soldiers, but with luck, they will be able to reach the enemy line in order for us to send the actual Kriegers forward. That's the hardest part about being a commissar in a Krieger regiment. It's so difficult to get them not to die. And he starts to laugh, but nobody else laughs, and he's just like, ah. Anyway.
Oh yes, Kriegers.
Well, everyone's wearing a gas mask around them, so they're just all silently smirking.
Yep. In the background, you actually see just standing there in perfect shoulder to shoulder, sort of shoulder arms, are all of the Kriegers, the real Kriegers. And as you look back there, you're realizing that they pooled the remaining, the survivors of the original Krieger regiment from all the other AOs to consolidate it into a fighting force with enough numbers to actually be able to participate directly in an engagement.
Hmm.
And they are lining up, getting ready to move forward. So, while that's going on, the Bane Blade pulls to a stop, and you notice as the what is it? The Aegis Protection Detail, the APD, they line up, and then they're ordered forward, and they start. You watch as the Bane Blade slows down. The formation keeps walking, and then the formation is in front, and then the formation is in the trench line, and then you hear one of the lieutenants go, "All right, lads. So this is a glorious day for all of you. You are going to lead the battle and protect this sacred artifact of war, this divine instrument of humanity's wrath, so that it can help." Yeah, salutes the tank. So that it can push past the Xenos menace, secure our allies in their isolated position, and finally break this deadlock that has so beleaguered this planet. Now, in order for this to happen, we need to ensure that the Baneblade reaches the final position. So, you will all be marching in formation ahead of the Baneblade to make sure that any enemy rocket fire or landmines aren't triggered by the Baneblade itself. This is a great honor. Just remember, for every one of you that dies is one blow that isn't struck against our Aegis. And you can see sort of people start to shake as they realize that the Aegis protection detail, you're not moving behind the giant armored tank. You're literally a meat shield for it. And as they start to look back and forth, the lieutenant goes, and just remember, if your drive, if your faith, if your fighting spirit begins to waver, just remember that Commissar Hartley and the rest of the MSG detail are prepared to inspire you to further greater actions and glory. They are there to ensure the fulfillment of your duty. And you see he salutes the commissar salutes back, and the lieutenant turns around, blows a whistle, and they begin advancing over the grounds as just rounds of orc small arms fire begins whizzing past, and you can actually see one of them before they even get off just gets and just drops to the ground immediately, dead.
What a waste. That guy is really gonna clog up the treads.
That's what they're there for.
Well, no, they're there not to clog up the treads. They're to make sure the treads don't run
Somehow,
over a mine.
With enough guardsmen, we can fill up this canyon to create the Guardsman Memorial Bridge.
It's like you see a crater, just fill it up with enough bodies so the Baneblade can get across it.
There we go. So I will throw my token down.
So
Man, there we
technically,
go.
we're on the MSG team, not the APG. Was it?
Yeah, you are on the MSG, not the APD.
No, APD.
Mm-hmm. So,
Right.
good old Jort.
I was to say, it
Standing in the line.
didn't make much sense for me to be on the APD. Like, don't you need me to fix it?
But no, you guys are, fortunately, you're no longer attached to a certain Sergeant Ray gun, which means, you're valuable.
That anchor that was holding us down.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
To get for
See,
having
look at-
ordinary guardsmen. Now this is specialist squad. Featuring Jort.
Jort's like, why am I even here? I ain't got no special powers or nothing.
That's exactly why
Somehow
you're
I
here. We
keep
need a straight
living
man to
through
show us how
everything.
cool we are.
I mean, that's the rundown. It's the psyker, the rattling, the admech, and then the cook.
And then
We're
the
all
other
there.
cook.
Meanwhile, sorry.
He's the cook, and we call the other guy the good cook.
What do you mean, this good cook? What is that?
He uses actual materials and parts that you don't find in a vehicle gear shop.
Let's keep that.
I mean, I appreciate all the lubricants he puts in foods, but that's not for me.
Yeah, literally, Alexander is the only one that can actually eat Jort's cooking. Actually, I think that was already established, too.
I mean, pointedly, though, I've got no lower jaw. It's all tubes going down, so it's not a pretty sight.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
put your
perfect-
Sloppy Joe in a blender.
You mean it wasn't already in a
I
blender?
say, what's the difference between a Sloppy Joe is in a blender and Sloppy Joe's out of a blender?
It's a soup, a soupy Joe.
Okay. Let's add
It's
puree.
literally-
Let's add puree to the words George doesn't know.
It is literally a soup sandwich. Alright. So, you guys all line up, and as you get ready, you watch them marching across. They start taking some increased...
Oh, we need
weapons
Alexander
fire.
here.
I
Oh,
am
he's over
there.
there. I see.
Yeah, he's just
He's
not...
hiding behind the initiative.
I'm glad that we both put our initiatives on the same place. But I wasn't going to put myself in front of the machine either.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There you go. You guys watch as there's basically no additional suppressing fire coming from your lines, at least from the heavy weapon teams. There's still some indirect mortar fire, but as the Baneblade begins advancing across the terrain, most of that suppressing fire being offered has ceased to be. And it's even difficult for the majority of the Baneblade's weapons to be put into effect, otherwise it would just tear through its meat shield. But as it advances, you can see the main cannon traversing, tracking. You can actually see as 6 of those battle wagons that had pursued you previously begin making their way over the lip to sort of aim their heavy weapons, and just immediately one of the guns from the main cannon fires off and does an obscene amount of damage. I'm not even gonna roll the damage because it's kind of hard.
Yeah,
to
that's fair.
set
We
up,
saw how tanky they were, which isn't much.
You watch it like one is rolling, and you just watch it slams right under it. The entire thing gets lifted into the air, slams down, right, and just 2 wheels that are on fire continue rolling down the hill towards the battlefield before getting caught up in some barbed wire.
With any luck, it won't even need our help.
Yep. And but as that's going on, you can see that it's firing as best it can. There's an autocannon attached to it as well that's well above all of the guardsmen. But as it's going across, you can see the guardsmen are getting whittled down pretty heavily, and it looks as though the orcs don't even care about the Baneblade so much. They're kind of just having fun taking pot shots at the guardsmen that are marching slowly across the terrain. And you watch as they get about halfway across, some of the greenskins begin to pop out of the craters that had been there, hacking at their legs, pulling them into the craters. You see them panicking, shooting down. The lieutenant orders them to continue advancing. And as this is going on, you see a number of them break formation and begin to turn around. All right. As they start to turn around, you hear the commissar go over and go, return to formation. This is Commissar Hartley. You must return to your formation. Well, that was the warning. And they go, Jort, if you could be so kind as to remind them as to why it is that they need to maintain ranks. And then he turns and he looks at you and goes, if you would be so kind as to do one full auto boast into the center of them.
All right.
And I know that this is difficult for you, but just remember, theirs is not the only life that is expendable here. Yeah, nice. You open up, you kill 3 of them. And it's just thunk, 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 as the round hits, and then it just explodes inside of them, and they drop to the ground. You realize that out there somewhere is Private York, and because he's in the same uniform as anybody else, and they all have their gas masks and helmets on, you don't know which one's which.
I don't get paid enough to care.
Fair enough.
I mean, you don't get paid, really.
Still,
Exactly.
roll me a willpower save as you open fire into the people you've just been eating and joking with previously.
Boom.
Okay. There you go. You're just like, target to target as you shred into these people. And
I
as
guess
that
They knew what
happens,
time it was.
you see a few of the other ones also do their bursts, and you can see the people that were like sort of faltering begin to stop and go, and start to run off. Some of them don't, and he goes, it appears that some of these people have not learned the lesson just yet. Jot, if you be so kind.
All right.
Effectively, you need to end up. We're gonna see how many people you need to personally kill in order to get them back to it.
Oh no, I missed.
You see the commissar stop as like your burst goes wide and sort of hits the ground. He sort of unclips his bolt pistol. He goes, Private Jot, I've seen your record. This is an easy shot. They have no cover. They're in the open. I'm going to give
Yeah.
you the benefit of a doubt based on your prior accomplishments, and I assume that this next attack will not miss.
You got it, boss.
Let me make it perfectly clear. If they falter, the rest of our entire line may break with them. And if that happens, the Aegis will be left on its own. So please?
I like lick my finger and stick it in the air, and I kind of like tweak my sights. Oh my fucking god.
Alright, he goes. You see the commissar looks at the commissar Hartley goes, yeah, the rest of you, pay attention now. Either Jort is going to make an example of the people in the field, or I'm going to make an example of Private Jort. This is your last chance.
So
And you
don't,
see he takes the bolt pistol and puts it to the back of your head.
so don't commissars usually have a more inspirational move where they shoot the guy who's with you?
You are
He's
taking full aim, right?
He is about to do that currently. Well, technically, full aim is an action. He can only half aim.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can't.
okay.
No, I mean the shoot. What are they called? I can't remember now. Since I use a servitor. The dude that's
Companion.
comrade. Yeah, say the commissars have the move that inspires you to do better. It gives you a bonus by shooting your comrade dead.
This is true, and Jort has a comrade. We'll see if that happens.
All right, here we go for all the marbles. No whammies.
Ah, no! All
That
my
was even
marbles.
worse.
My
Do you want
marbles
to
are
fate
gone.
point that?
He squeezes the trigger, and as you
Now's
close
the
your eyes,
time.
he squeezes the trigger and fires a round directly in the back of your comrade's head.
Damn it, Jort, those are my favorite marbles.
Oof.
It hits. It blows the. What was their comrade's name again?
I think his name was Limbo. Yeah.
You're now down one cook, and you see as he's stabilizing the weapon. He's like, not like this, Jort, not like this. All right, add a 20 to your next roll, brother. Also, roll me willpower.
All right.
Oh, we have
As I
a
shed my glory tear for.
we have a quick in memoriam. Remember that one time he held on to the communicator, the Vox box?
Remember that one time he was standing at the door ready, but didn't shoot or manage to do anything?
Remember how he was always trying to cook stuff between York and Jort? Like, he did an admirable job assisting in the kitchen.
I do appreciate though that you're so sad that you got worse.
Wait, how'd you even...
Uh,
You lost 20.
Yeah, did you do a minus 20 or?
Here's the thing though.
Granted, you still rolled a
For what?
94.
Say, here's the thing though. Even if he reversed that, it's still not winning.
Would you like to use your fate? Literally all you... Oh, wait, no, that was the willpower roll. That was
Oh,
negative
yeah,
five.
that's just the
That was the
willpower.
willpower
Alright.
roll.
Roll me 1d5 insanity. Actually, 2d5 insanity since you lost your comrade.
All right. You want me to just roll a d10 or 2d5?
2d5.
2d5. Okay.
You can do it, Jort.
Oh no.
Yeah, you did it.
Alrighty then.
Uh.
Now roll your next attack, pal, and keep in mind that any of your abilities that require a comrade action are no longer possible.
What? Even with my plus 20, I still.
Now's the time to use that fate point. Now's
Say,
the time to reroll.
This is your job, right? This is what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, George just closes his eyes and is holding down the trigger. Just like, ah!
George, is there something wrong with your firearm?
I don't know.
It
There's something
might
wrong with my
be.
rolls.
It's actually been filled with blanks.
You see the commissar goes, "Don't let this be in vain. I would hate to have to put another of your comrades in this position." Also, you see your sergeant walks up, Staff Sergeant Jones, and he goes, "God damn it, Jort. I didn't go through all this trouble of harassing you just to get you to fuck up now. You are making us look bad. So I'm
What's going on, Sarge?
gonna do something I should have done a long time ago." And he kneels
Oh
down
my
next to you and he whispers into your ear. And he pulls back. You have another 10, so now you have a 30 to your roll if you use fate to re-roll that last one.
Okay. I guess I'll use my fate on that last one.
Roll 1d10 from York. If you get a 10, you keep it.
All right.
So close.
I assume that he just told me that he was my dad.
You tell as he leans back and he goes, "And I mean that. I mean it." What did he tell you to motivate you so?
He told me that he was going to take me to the titty bar when we get back.
What's the base of a So many questions. Like,
Why wouldn't it have?
How tall is Jort that he had to lean down to whisper in your ear? 2, why does this military base filled with clones that wear gas masks at the titty bar?
I mean,
They
that's
take off the gas masks.
There you go. Actually, no, they just leave it on the entire time. And he has to lean down because when he's firing an automatic weapon, he's crouched down, bracing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got the bipod up.
Oh, I thought we were on the ridge.
Oh, that's right. I have my bipod up. Oh, that's okay.
But yes, you managed to shred 5 additional of these guys. That's 5 plus the 3 you killed earlier. Yeah, that is enough. So you managed to shred enough of them to where they're actually getting killed more by your firing line than by the orcs. So they turn around and head back into guarding the Baneblade. Commissar Hartley goes, "See? Not so hard, was it? Just for your own good, Jort. It's unfortunate that Private... What did you say his name was? Langley?
Limbo.
It's a shame
I
that...
don't know. I just came up with it real quick.
It's a shame that Private Limbo had to suffer for your incompetence. Hopefully, your next comrade will be more fortunate, and you will be more accurate going forward.
I hope so.
You see, Sergeant Sergeant Jones clips off the ID tag of your comrade, pats him down for useful items, throws it to his comrade who stuffs it in a rucksack, and he goes, "Right, so back to it, boys." And over the next course of like 20 minutes or so, as it's advancing, oh yeah, and as they start to advance, you can see as they start running closer and closer to the sort of like the orc lines, and by the time they get there, most of the vehicles that had been sent to what do you call it, sent to like counter the Baneblade, eventually the Baneblade just guns the engines, and it tries to avoid most of the guardsmen, but you watch as at least one is caught under its tracks as it pushes through to clear all of its guns, and you watch as upwards of 12 weapon systems open up. Just you can see the main battle cannon is just slowly, and every time it fires, just one of these orc war buggies just completely explodes into a charred chassis. And you see as two las cannons on either sponsoon track different targets, fire, put a thin line of concentrated energy directly through it, and then moments later the vehicle explodes. And you watch as more and more orcs are trying to get distracted from the friendly formation that was isolated as they swoop around their defensive works to try and rush these exposed guardsmen. And that's when the four bolters just start opening up into the orcish horde, tearing through them. And as you guys watch this, we're going to take a 5-minute bio break, and we'll get back to it. Sound good?
Yeah. More friendly fire when
Alright.
we get back.
I got to turn lights on and stuff.